Close your eyes for a second. I want you to picture an angel. What do you see? If you are like most people in the Western world, you probably see a beautiful human being with two large, white, feathery swan wings. Maybe they are wearing a long, flowing white robe. Maybe there is a golden halo hovering over their head. They are serene. They are comforting. They look like they belong on a Hallmark Christmas card or a precious porcelain figurine on your grandmother's shelf. Now open your eyes and look at this. This is a trend that has taken the internet by storm. It's called the biblically accurate angel, and it is terrifying. It looks less like a guardian spirit and more like a cosmic horror from a Lovecraft story. It has too many wings. It has animal faces. It is covered in eyeballs. It is a spinning wheel of fire. This creates a massive cognitive dissonance. How did we get from that to the chubby baby with a bow and arrow? How did a culture obsessed with a Bible, a book that describes celestial beings as burning coals, lightning, and multi-headed chimeras, end up with an image of angels that is basically just pretty humans with wings? Today, we are going to do a deep dive into the angelology of history. We are going to look at the text of the Bible itself to see what is actually there. And then, we are going to play art detective to find out who invented the modern angel. This is the story of the monster in the text versus the mascot in the culture. To be fair to the Hallmark card designers, the Bible does actually describe angels that look like humans. But there is a catch. The Hebrew word for angel is malak. The Greek word is angelos. Both of them simply mean messenger. In the Bible, when a messenger Malak shows up to talk to someone, they often look just like a normal guy. In Genesis 18, Abraham is visited by 3 men who turn out to be divine messengers. He washes their feet and feeds them dinner. In Genesis 19, the 2 angels who go to Sodom are perceived as human men by the locals. In the New Testament, the book of Hebrews says, "Do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares." So, the human-looking angel is biblical. But here is the kicker. In the Bible, these messengers almost never have wings. If you saw a biblical messenger on the street, you wouldn't see a glowing being with swan wings. You would see a regular person. The wings were added later. But these messengers are the bottom of the totem pole. When we go up the hierarchy to the beings that actually live in God's throne room, things get weird, really weird. The biblically accurate memes usually focus on 3 specific types of celestial beings found in the visions of the prophets Isaiah, Ezekiel, and John. These are the seraphim, the cherubim, and the 1. The seraphim. Let's start with Isaiah chapter 6. The prophet is having a vision of God's throne room, and flying around the throne are the seraphim. The name seraphim comes from the Hebrew root seraph, which means to burn. So these are literally the burning ones, or fiery serpents. Isaiah describes them. Each had 6 wings. With 2 he covered his face, and with 2 he covered his feet, and with 2 he flew. Why are they covering themselves? Because God's glory is so radioactive, so intense, that even these fiery divine beings have to shield their eyes, and they cover their feet as a sign of humility. So, forget the cute baby. Picture a 6-winged, burning, serpentine being screaming, "Holy, holy, holy," so loud that the doorposts of the temple shake. That is a seraph too. The cherubim, if seraphim are scary, cherubim are nightmares. We use the word cherub today to describe a cute, fat baby. But in the Bible, a cherub is a high-ranking guardian entity. They are the ones placed at the Garden of Eden with a flaming sword to keep humans out. The prophet Ezekiel gives us the most detailed description in Ezekiel chapter 1 and chapter 10. And it is a lot to process. He says they have 4 faces: the face of a human, the face of a lion, the face of an ox, the face of an eagle. They have 4 wings. 2 are stretched upward and to cover their bodies. They have straight legs with hooves like a calf, shining like burnished bronze. And, most unsettling of all, Ezekiel says their entire bodies, their backs, their hands, and their wings are full of eyes all around. So, a cherub is a multi-faced, 4-winged, hoofed, eye-covered chimera. It is a creature of total vigilance and total power. It is not something you want to hug. 3. The Opanim, finally. We have the Opanim, often translated as the wheels. These appear right next to the cherubim in Ezekiel's vision. Ezekiel describes them as a wheel within a wheel. Imagine 2 gyroscope rings interlocking. They sparkle like topaz or chrysolite. And, just like the cherubim, their rims are full of eyes all around. These aren't even biological entities. They are divine geometry. They are the chariot wheels of God's mobile throne, moving instantly in any direction without turning, powered by the spirit of the living creatures. Later tradition identified them as a class of angels called thrones. So, this is the biblically accurate cast: burning serpents, eye-covered animal hybrids, and sentient gyroscopes. When these beings show up in scripture, the first thing they usually have to say to a human is "fear not," because the natural human reaction to seeing one of these is cardiac arrest. So how did we lose these monsters? How did we trade the burning ones for the tooth fairy? The transformation didn't happen overnight. It happened because early Christian artists had a marketing problem. In the first few centuries of Christianity, believers didn't really draw angels. They were worried about idolatry. But when they did start drawing them, they drew them as regular men, wingless, bearded, wearing Roman tunics. They were sticking to the messenger Malak idea. But then, Christianity became the official religion of the Roman Empire under Constantine. Suddenly, Christian art needed to look imperial. It needed to look majestic. The Roman artists looked at their own pagan mythology for inspiration. They asked, how do we show a divine being coming down from heaven to earth? And they found the answer in Nike or Victoria, the Greek and Roman goddess of victory. Nike was always depicted as a beautiful, human-like woman with large, feathered wings flying down to crown a victor. Christian artists essentially copy-pasted Nike's wings onto their angels. It was a perfect visual shorthand. Wings meant from heaven. Wings meant speed. Wings meant divine. By the 4th and 5th centuries, the winged angel became the standard. The terrifying features of the seraphim and cherubim, the multiple faces, the wheels. The eyes were either ignored or highly stylized because they were too hard to draw and too scary for a general audience. But what about the babies? That is the fault of the Italian Renaissance. In the 14th and 15th centuries, artists like Donatello and Raphael rediscovered classical Roman art. They became obsessed with figures called putty little naked, winged toddlers that were associated with Cupid Eros, the god of love. These putti were secular figures of love and leisure, but Renaissance artists started painting them around the Madonna and Child. They merged the putti with the cherubim. This is the ultimate irony. The cherub, the 4-faced, eye-covered monster that guards the tree of life, was merged with Cupid, the diaper-wearing pagan god of love. And linguistically, we just started calling the babies cherubs. The monster was domesticated. The Hallmark version was born. So, we have two versions of angels. Version A, the Hallmark angel. Human, winged, beautiful, comforting. This is the product of Greek art, Nike, Cupid, mixing with Christian theology. It is designed to make us feel safe. It tells us that heaven is familiar, that God is approachable, and that we are watched over by benevolent beings who look just like us. Version B, the biblically accurate angel. Inhuman, burning, covered in eyes, geometric. This is the product of the ancient Near Eastern prophetic imagination. It is not designed to make us feel safe. It is designed to make us feel awe. The biblically accurate angel reminds us that God is not a human. He is something totally other. His throne room is not a comfortable living room. It is a furnace of holiness that operates on a logic we cannot comprehend. The beings that live there are not our friends in the human sense. They are terrifying agents of a cosmic reality that would shatter our minds if we saw it fully. The internet's obsession with biblically accurate angels isn't just a meme. It's a pushback against the domestication of the divine. It's a desire to bring the mystery and the terror back into religion, because if an angel actually showed up in your room tonight, you wouldn't want a harp. You would want a fear not. What do you think? Do you prefer the comforting guardian or the cosmic monster? Let me know your thoughts, respectfully, in the comments below. If you found this deep dive into the hidden history of religious art fascinating, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that uncovers the real stories behind our beliefs. Thanks for watching.